Yeah, I'm sure throughout the whole festival, you'll be hearing a lot of layer 5, layer 5, layer 5. So that's how much layer 5 has impacted each and every one of us as a contributor. So I am part of the community manager at layer 5, and I'm also a co-lead, a front-end co-lead of SheCode Africa. Okay, not selling myself. So I'll be speaking on growth, and that is like tips to grow a healthy open source community. So we are here to talk about open source, right? Okay, so then, what is really an open source community? I particularly use an open source community because we are focusing on that. So, but generally, what is a community? Say, we have some community managers here, right? I see you. So generally, community is a place where a group of, say, people come together to achieve a common goal. Who agree? Yeah. So we are here together to achieve a common goal. So now, an open source community is just a place for a group of contributors. So we have contributors, we have maintainers that are maintaining a particular project or that are contributing to that particular project. They are there to achieve that goal. The common goal is to enhance the product or the whole project. So that's what community is. Now, managing community in open source. So I'll bring it down that even managing communities generally, globally is different from the way we manage community in Africa. And even coming down to Africa, the way you manage community in Ghana is different from the way we manage community in Kenya. So there are different ways to manage community. And then coming to the main focus, which is open source. Managing community in open source is like, say you have all the characteristics of a manager. So you have empathy. You will have to use that empathy extra, like Pro Max empathy, because say you're managing a community where you have a lot of contributors that will put out a pull request, and sometimes the maintainer self might not even see that pull request, right? And you will see I think Prosper was talking about how he keeps getting emails, how he keeps getting Twitter DMs. That's how it is managing an open source community. You get to get a lot of DMs, Slack DMs, Discuss DMs. People say these beginners, let me just say beginners or aspirants that are so eager to contribute and they are not getting it right. So it's tricky. So now let's move to why should a community be healthy? We are talking about building a healthy open source community, right? So why should it be healthy? It aids a better collaboration. It allows a better collaboration, like people collaborating within the community gets to interact peacefully, and it makes the place a safe space. We all hear about the safe space. So we are talking about a better safe space, right? Are you with me? Okay. So I'm saying it makes the community a safe space, and also it's the sustainability of the project. So if you attain Sustain Africa, we'll be having discussion about how to sustain open source in Africa and how to sustain projects, open source projects. So aids the sustainability. Sustainability of projects is in of open source, is in two ways, which means that you have to sustain the project and you also have to sustain the people contributing and maintaining the project. So now, when the community is healthy, it aids the sustainability of the project. So what makes an open source community healthy? Let's talk about that. Now here are the tips. So the community first approach. Sometimes last week or 2 weeks ago, David Spranks is like is a CEO or now former founder. Now former. He resigned last week. So he is the founder of CMX, which is like the largest global community for community managers. So he tweeted this, that people struggle to form relationships in groups. We need a one-to-one conversation to really get to know someone. Lesson for community builders. Don't focus on group experience. Create opportunities for your members to meet and talk one-on-one as much as possible. So this is this is part of the tip to help sustain, to help keep a healthy community. You have to give the room for a one-on-one relationship between you and your contributors, you and even as a maintainer and the contributors, maintainer and the community manager and the contributors. So you have to give that room for a one-on-one conversation. Don't make everything be like, say, in group or in the community. Give room for one-on-one interaction. That is you giving the community first. Tips, that's tips number 1. So let's move to the next tips. Improve onboarding process. For me, the best place I've experienced onboarding process is layer 5. Layer 5, Anita agrees, right? The best place for onboarding, layer 5. That's it. all right. But for me, it's layer 5. Layer 5 is really, really amazing at onboarding. They onboard, no matter who you are, no matter your stack. You say you are a designer, you can, even as product managers, Layer 5 onboards product managers and give them room to contribute even to open source as a product manager. So Layer 5 is very, very good at onboarding. So improve onboarding process. Onboarding process gives contributors, it gives them the chill that they are welcome home. Like, it's like, oh, here I'm home. It's you saying that you came for a dinner and you get a cool welcome. That's what onboarding is for contributors. So improve onboarding process. Now, accepting and implementing feedback from users, from contributors, is very, very, very important as a community manager. To create a healthy place, you have to take feedback, and you have to also implement those feedback. So there is just an organization like this. This event, there will be feedback afterwards, yeah? So the best thing to do is take those feedback and implement them. So it's important to implement feedbacks from members. It helps them feel like they are included in what you're doing. When you take their feedback and they see that you implement this feedback, they feel included. So the next thing is make your project easy to contribute to. This cannot be overemphasized. If I enter any community right now and I want to contribute and the old documentation thing is looking like garbage, I will kindly, gently, respectfully excuse myself. Because if the project is not easy to contribute to, you will be struggling as a contributor. So you'll be like, what's the point? Let me just move to the next. So make your project easy to contribute to. And a way to make project easy to contribute to is by giving a well-detailed documentation. Your documentation should be well-detailed, well-structured. That even as somebody that do not even, like Anita spoke about Kubernetes, right? About cloud-native community. If I'm entering a cloud-native community with a zero idea, I should be able to contribute to something in your community through your documentation. So make the project easy to contribute to. Now, this is just a little analogy, like that according to GitHub, 93% of people consider incomplete or outdated documentation to be the major problem. Improper documentation can make a person do not want to come back. That's what I just explained. Like if I enter I want to contribute to a project and I check out the documentation and again, it's looking like garbage, I'm going to respectfully, again, excuse myself because it will be so hard. I will just be struggling with it. So another tip is providing a well-detailed and structured code of conduct and enforcing it. Now, code of conduct is the laws, let's just call it rules and regulations that guide the community and the project as a whole. So a well-structured one should be available as a community, and it should be enforced. Like, I can't come into a community and it's supposed to be like inclusive and it should be diverse, and someone is shading me because I'm black, because I'm Africa, right? So something like that should be in a code of conduct. We are inclusive, we are diverse. So you don't get to talk down on someone because they are black or because they are African or because I am a woman, right? So code of conduct should be well structured, detailed, and should be enforced. Now, this is another theory that nearly 18% of people are active in open source community have been faced with negative interaction with one another. I don't want to get into a community and we'll be doing gbas. Yeah. So they find it 50% of them have been a witness to negative communication between other people in open source, and 21% of users said they stopped contributing to a project because of negative interaction. I don't know why that is looking like that. So they stopped contributing to open source because of negative interaction. So if I'm in a community and there is negative interaction, the place is not safe, right? And we are talking about LD community. So we want to be in a healthy place where our mental health will be intact. I don't want to get to a place and each time my head will just be hot with gas bills everywhere. So we want a place that is safe and healthy. So that's that. Now I want to give a small analogy by Ben Belter. Ben Belter works in GitHub. He's an attorney and open source developer, senior product manager working on GitHub, on community and safety, and he works at GitHub. He made a sweet analogy that I really want to share today. He said that community is like a dinner party, the world dinner party, right? It's a place where people come from different continents, different countries, and they come together to share their skill, to collaborate. So he now said open source is like that dinner party, that when you come to a dinner party, you get welcomed by the gates. You get welcomed, right? So you getting welcomed is the onboarding. If you remember when I talked about onboarding. So you getting welcomed is the onboarding. And then when you're coming as a guest, you come with a gift. So your gift is your skill. The skill that you're about to contribute to on the project. That's your gift. So when you come to a dinner party, it's about all of us enjoying ourselves, right? You don't want to go to a party and you will be on your toes while going back home, because there is hostile, or it is hostile and everything. So community, open source community or community generally is like a dinner party where everyone should be well welcomed, and when the people that are coming to the party, like the guests, are coming with a gift, which is their skill, and they are contributing to make the project and the community grow stronger. So I will be finishing with this. I genuinely believe that building a thriving and healthy open source around your project is possible. Yeah? It is possible, yes? Okay. And you can do this by being 100% transparent with your members and users, building personal relationships, making people feel included, and setting a clear code of conduct. Again, so I think this is like the summary of what I just said. Making people feel included. Make them know that they matter. Not only feel. Make them know that they really, really matter. Make them know that their opinion matters. Their feedback matters. And setting a clear code of conduct. So my view is that a good community management is like having good mechanical government. You should be able to dissenting opinions and so on. Freedom of speech, yes. But your grandmother should be able to walk down the streets in the night without being worried of getting mocked. That's the whole hostility. Don't let your community to be hostile, right? It should be very, very healthy. My grandma should be able to walk on the street peacefully and not be scared of getting mocked. If I'll be checking behind my back while I'm walking at night, that means that place is not safe, right? So you should make the community a safe and healthy space. Now, these are some open source community you can join. I can start contributing to no matter, and I'm emphasizing on no matter your stack, no matter what you're doing. We have Layer 5, there is GNOME, there is OSCAR, of course, and there is Chaos Project, there is Meta Open Source, and there is Google Open Source. We all know that some part of Google is open for people to contribute to. So you can always contribute to that. But for me today, I am strongly advocating for Layer 5. Yeah, so come contribute to the Layer 5 project. Anita just talk about cloud native. So Layer 5 is a cloud native and strongly open source. Everything is open. So your ideas, your little ideas, your tiniest ideas, your suggestions, they're always welcome. Thank you very much for attending this.